Hello everybody, this is your main man Keith here from Keith Plays PS4 927. Happy Friday afternoon to all my awesome viewers on this awesome channel. We are in week 16 of our Toronto Huskies franchise, and we will be in Northeast Ohio in the 216 and 440 in the First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. So we are now 14 and 0 on the regular season, hoping to go 15 and 0. While the Cleveland Browns, on the other hand, are 10 and 4 on the regular season, and they are doing really phenomenal this year. They are in the playoff picture, which I'm about to show you in just right now. And they are actually that fourth seed, the Cleveland Browns. So we're at the number one seed, as you guys can see here. And if we win more games, which we're automatically in playoffs, by the way, because we beat the Bills 55-0 in Monday's episode, which I will have the link to that episode if you guys want to check it out if you haven't already. So, without further ado, we'll show you the uniforms and we'll see you guys at kickoff. Alright, so the Cleveland Browns are going to be wearing their all-brown home alternates. So they're going to be wearing brown jerseys, brown pants with home socks, and white with orange shoes. Now for the Toronto Huskies, we're going to wear white jerseys, gray pants, gray socks, and black with light blue shoes. So without further ado, we'll see you at kickoff.
Today, from First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, it's a special Christmas Day edition of the NFL on EA Sports.
So Christmas Day in 2022 does fall on a Sunday, so that's why they have they say a Christmas Day special. However, they do play games on the 24th, Christmas Eve, and they'll probably do like 2 or 3 games on Christmas Day 2022 since it will be a Sunday. Alright, so now it is kickoff time here in Northeast Ohio, here in the 216 and the 440, home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Here we are kicking it off in Cleveland, Ohio. So the Browns, they get to return as they get stopped there at the 32-yard line. We get to see Baker Mayfield step onto that field for the first time in this episode. He has 22 touchdowns and 10 INTs this season. So they're going to step onto the field for the first time offensively for the Cleveland Browns. And they're going to step back to pass. Mayfield throwing this one. And that is going to be a first down. That's going to be a 2nd and 7 to Devin Funchess for only a gain of 3 yards on that reception. So Mayfield's going to hand this one off to Kareem Hunt. So there is no Nick Chubb on the Cleveland Browns anymore. We traded him at the beginning of this episode because I took a break from filming. So that's why I decided just to do the trades, because I don't film the trades while I do this series, because really I like to see mainly gameplay. And now this is a 4th and 6. And Golden Tate is ready to return the punt. We also did trade for Jarvis Landry and Nick Chubb. And we traded them with Chris Godwin and Mekhi Becton. There was really no use for them anymore. So I wanted like a more superstar affiliate team, as you know, if you guys know what I'm talking about. So 1st and 10. Joe Flacco steps back to pass once at it, fires this one out to Antonio Brown, the former Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver. He's used to this stadium. He's played in First Energy Stadium a couple of times, played for the Steelers, won most of them, by the way. Alright, 1st and 10. Joe Flacco's going to hand this off to Nick Chubb in his homecoming to Cleveland, Ohio. And he scores a touchdown for the first time in a Toronto Huskies uniform. And this is his first touchdown outside of a Browns uniform inside the 216. So now this is going to be a 7-0 lead here for the Toronto Huskies. All right, 1st and 10. Nick Chubb and excuse me. No, wait. It'll be the Cleveland Browns at the 32, a gain of 11 yards on that run play. So this is going to be a 1st down and 10 for the Cleveland Browns. They're at the 43-yard line. We're ready to play some defense here, and I hope we get an interception or a fumble recovery. So there is a sack, there is a fumble recovery, and Carl Lawson makes that fumble recovery down at the 31. So this will be a 1st down and 10. The Cleveland Browns whatsoever do get their first turnover of the game. We're going to hand this off to Nick Chubb, and he gains about 16 yards on that play. 2 rushes, 44 yards, and a touchdown. So this will be a 1st and 10. So we're going to use a halfback flip screen at the 15-yard line. And I'm thinking I might pass it to either Rob Gronkowski or Antonio Brown. So I throw this to Rob Gronkowski. He gets this into the end zone for his first TD of the game. All right, it's now 14-0 here in Northeast Ohio. The Cleveland Browns are using the single back formation, and they will run the ball, and they gain at least 2 yards on that play. They're down at the 40-yard line, so 47 seconds to go in this first quarter. They're going to step back to pass. They're going to fire this one out to Austin Hooper, and he gets stopped there at the 49. So he has 6 receptions, 79 yards from last week, and he has 47 receptions, 541 yards, and he has only scored 2 touchdowns. So he wasn't necessarily a primary target this season for the Cleveland Browns. Mainly it was either Odell Beckham Jr. or Jarvis Landry. And I mentioned this earlier that we traded Chris Godwin, Mekhi Becton, and a first-round pick. I forgot to say the first-round pick part, but this ends the first here in Northeast Ohio. Huskies lead it 14-0 here on the shores of Lake Erie. So 2nd and 11. If you've ever seen a Cleveland Browns game before on TV, and it has rained or snowed, I mean, it's mainly due to the fact that they are so close to Lake Erie that they get this weather effect, because there's about at least a couple feet away from Lake Erie. So they're going to fire this one out, and they get that 1st down to Odell Beckham Jr., who is now with the LA Rams. So he signed with them earlier this month in November. So he left Cleveland, decided to leave Cleveland. So he became an unrestricted free agent. So this is now a 2nd and 9 from the 35-yard line. So they're going to actually throw the ball. So what are they going to do? They actually get that 1st down at the 20-yard line. So they're in the red zone. So it looks like they're trying to find a way to get that 1st down, but they throw that pass, it's incomplete. 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line, 2:23 to go, and they're going to step back to pass once at it, and that is an incomplete pass, and this will be a 3rd and 10. So if the Browns don't get a 1st down or a touchdown, they are going to have to take that field goal attempt. So they're going to throw this one, and that was a hit stick fumble. So luckily the Browns receiver did not lose the ball there that time. So this will be a 4th and 8 for Cleveland. So they are going to attempt a 3-point field goal. So if they make this in, the Browns do score their first points of the game, and it's now going to be 14-3 Toronto, and we get to return the kickoff here in the 216 and 440 in the Great Lake City of Cleveland. So now we got some Golden Tate. He's ready to return this one, so he's going to break some tackles along the lines there. He gets stopped at the 34. All right, 1st and 10 from the 49. Joe Flacco stepping back to pass. He's going to fire this one out to Antonio Brown. He gets stopped there at the 29, so they're going to move the chains along the lines. And we're going to use a sail dig pass play on 1st and 10 from the 29. So they're going to step back to pass. Once at him, firing this one out to Antonio Brown. He gets stopped at the 8 there. 4 for 4, 102 yards and a touchdown. So we're just going to run the ball simply with Nick Chubb by using that I formation. We're going to use the stretch alert X smoke run play. And 1st and goal from the 8. We should be able to get this touchdown easily. So he jumps on into the end zone. And it appears that Shaq Mason appears to be down and injured for the Toronto Huskies. We don't know what the injury is as of yet. We'll let you know when we're on defense. Shaq Mason appears to have muscle cramps, but he is going to return in this episode. He gets sacked. The ball is out. And Carl Lawson makes another fumble recovery. So this is Baker Mayfield's second fumble of the game. And he's already lost 2 of them. So we're going to use the inside zone featuring Nick Chubb. And we're going to hand this to him in his return to the 2-1-6. He scores that in. Touchdown. And this will be his 20th rushing TD of the season. So he might be one of those AFC offensive players of the year. So we're just going to use the power O run play to get that 2-point conversion. So we unfortunately do not get that 2-point conversion. So Damon Harrison, well, might not be Damon Harrison, but the Cleveland Browns, they've allowed 179 total yards today. So this Cleveland Browns defense, they're pretty schematic and they know what they're doing. So we'll see you guys when we're on defense. All right, 1st down and 10 from the 35-yard line. And Mayfield, he's going to step back to pass. That was a pass deflection. That's incomplete. So this will be a 2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line. 34 seconds to go. And it looks like they're going to step back to pass once at it. That's another incomplete pass. So this will be a 3rd down and 10 now. We're going to use the zone coverage here. And hopefully we can hopefully get an interception or a fumble. So Austin Hooper gets that 1st down. Cleveland does take a timeout, by the way. And we're going to use the zone coverage here on 1st and 10. The Browns are at the middle of the field. And it looks like they're all hyped up to get at least another 1st down. But this turns out to be a timeout. So on that reception, they didn't necessarily lose nor gain any yards on that reception whatsoever. But they were so lucky that they didn't lose all that yardage because they would have had to restart on their downs and had to figure out a different game plan. So unfortunately, they're going to throw this one to Donovan Peoples-Jones, I think. Yes, it's Donovan Peoples-Jones. So it's a 4th and 8. This will conclude the first half here in Northeast Ohio after this brief punt return. So the Browns punt this away. And I don't think we're going to return this for a whole lot. Oh, maybe we are. Maybe we are. And we return it. We get stopped at the 45. So this will end the first half. Toronto leads it 27-3. All right, now this is beginning of the second half here in Northeast Ohio on the shores of Lake Erie. So Golden Tate is ready to return this kickoff here for the Huskies. And he will get stopped at the 34-yard line. So this is going to be a 1st and 10. So we're going to use the PA sprint halfback flat pass play on 1st and 10. So we're going to throw this pass off to Corey Davis. And he uses that juke move and he gets stopped there at the 43. So Joe Flacco, 5 for 5, 125 yards in all today. And we're just going to run the ball using the halfback stretch play with Nick Chubb. It's his return to Cleveland, and he's just scored his 20th touchdown on the last time he scored a touchdown in this episode. And he has 6 carries, 91 yards, and he has 1,500 rushing yards this season, which I'm surprised because we just traded the Becton and Godwin for Chubb because we really needed a running back. So he has 3 touchdowns today. So that is a talented mark. So he returns to Northeast Ohio in a Toronto Huskies uniform. So he got drafted by the Browns, I think about 2018, somewhere, might have been 2017, 2018. So this will be a first and goal. So he has 8 carries, 117 yards, and we're at the 3-yard line whatsoever. So we're going to hand this off to Le'Veon Bell, and he gets this into the end zone for a touchdown. And that is going to be a 34-3 lead here in Toronto. All right, first and 10 from the 32-yard line, 2:10 to go. And the Cleveland Browns are going to run this play, and they get about 10 yards. Well, 10 yards at least, second and inches. So they were at least a half yard away from getting that first down. So they were pretty close there that time. So they're going to throw this pass, and that's going to be incomplete there. So I wanted that to be intercepted, but there's always another chance at it if they get this first down. So they're going to throw this one, and they do. So Odell Beckham Jr. gets that first down, the LSU product. And this will be his 3rd reception of the game today. And Cleveland now has 66 passing yards. But their defense was quite consistent, as you guys can see. Because their defense rather, made that stop on that 2-point conversion. So that's why they've been up on their game this whole time. Even though they're losing, they are still playoff worthy. But if they lose this game, they're not necessarily out, but they just got to win their last 2 games to be playoff worthy. So first and 10 from the 21. Browns are going to run it. They get stopped there at the 19. So this is going to be a 2nd and 9 now. So this is Devin McCourty's 30th tackle this season. So they're at the 19. This will probably be the last play of the 3rd quarter. And they get stopped at the 10. All right, first and 10. They're going to hand this one off. And he gains about 1, maybe 2 yards. So we are season ranking number 1, and we had 2 takeaways today, both fumbles by the Browns, and we actually got that for touchdowns on the offensive drive. So we made those good plays consistently, but Nick Chubb has been on top of his game for the first time in a Huskies uniform. So this is funny how he played for the Browns most of the season, gets traded towards the end of the season, shines for the first time in a Huskies uniform, returning to First Energy Stadium. So he makes his return. So they're going to fire this one, and the Browns do get a touchdown. Austin Hooper there. Sheldon Rankins appears to be injured on that play, so this will be a 34-10 lead for the Huskies. All right, they're going to do the onside kick. They just done 11 plays for 67 yards. So the Huskies, they're going to return this one. Not for very much, though. Maybe 1 or 2. Rashad Jones, he does have a bruised elbow. Sheldon Rankins, he is going to return soon. But I'm just thinking we're just going to change it up a little bit. We didn't really use a whole lot of Jarvis Landry, and I chose Jarvis Landry for this play just because it was his return to Cleveland. I mean, he did spend his first few seasons of his NFL career with the Miami Dolphins, so he has that talent. LSU. He never really made the he's never been to never made the Super Bowl, so this will be a 1st and 10 with this team in mind. We are gonna whatsoever so show some elusive talent, and he gets this into the end zone. Jarvis Landry with his first receiving touchdown in a Huskies uniform at his team that he played for a variant of season. So he gets that into the end zone in his return to Northeast Ohio. So we're just going to actually run it on this play. So we're just going to run the ball using the strong toss pass play. Run play, excuse me. So we're going to hand this off to Le'Veon Bell, and he gets that in there. So it's now 42-10 here in Cleveland. All right, 2nd and 10 from the 48-yard line. And Baker Mayfield, he gets sacked, but the Browns recover whatsoever. They lost about 10 yards on that play. So this will be a 3rd and 20. And they're going to step back to pass. They're going to throw this one. Not an interception for them. So 4th and 20 now from the 42. We're ready to return the punt here. So they punt this away, and we will be ready to return. Well, goes out of bounds there at the 20. So this will be a 1st and 10. So we're just going to actually use the counter F run play on 1st and 10. So Joe Flacco is going to hand this one off to Nick Chubb, but he is running the field like no other players. So somebody on the Browns is injured. We're just still going to run the ball, and hopefully Chubb will be the AFC Offensive Player of the Week. So he's going to run the ball, and he gets stopped there at the 37. 10 carries, 160 yards, and 3 touchdowns today. And we've had 164 yards total in today's episode, which I'm surprised that we had that many yardage, because our offense, we're ranked number 1, and we're definitely going to win many playoff games in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And they're at the 10-yard line. That was a 26-yard reception there, so we're just going to actually flip it around. We're just going to sub out. Actually, we're just going to use Jarvis Landry as our primary receiver. I didn't realize Landry was the main receiver for that play. So we score a touchdown, and this will be his 5th receiving touchdown on the season. We're actually going to do a 2-point conversion, so it will hopefully be 50-10 if we actually get this in. So we're just going to run the ball, and he gets it in there, so it's now 50-10. We'll see you guys at the end of the game. All right, Joe Flacco, perfect pass rating, 9 for 9, 209 yards, 3 touchdowns on the day. However, Baker Mayfield, 91.0 pass rating, 17 for 26, 135 yards, and 1 passing touchdown. So rushing-wise, I'm surprised that Nick Chubb showed out his best in a Huskies uniform. He had 12 carries, 155 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 8 broken tackles today. Demetric Felton had 8 carries, 141 yards, and no touchdowns whatsoever. Le'Veon Bell, he just had 4 touchdowns, 1 touchdown, and it was only for 4 yards. Jarvis Landry, 2 touchdowns on the day, 4 receptions, 84 yards. Austin Hooper scored Cleveland's only touchdown with 3 receptions, 35 yards on a TD. Rob Gronkowski had a touchdown as well. Now, defensively, this is what's really impressive. Malcolm Jenkins 1 sack. KJ Wright and Shaq Lawson all had a sack. There were no INTs whatsoever. And Carl Lawson and Devin McCourty had fumble recoveries. There were no defensive touchdowns. Kick return and punt return, no touchdowns. So that wraps it up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next episode.